Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be showing you guys what the Rocket Voltics feature would look like on some of the brand new Grand Theft Auto Online supercars. So I don't know about you guys, but the new Rocket Voltic is probably my favorite special vehicle because it can do things like this. It sends you flying, you can do all these crazy stunts, jump long distances, and I've always wondered what this feature would look like, this giant rocket propulsion engine would look like on the back of some of the other vehicles in the game. Like if you could strap this to some of the other supercars, what would it be like? Well, luckily today we can actually check this out on a handful of some new vehicles and also some other super futuristic looking ones as well. So let's jump into this and let's start checking these vehicles out because they look pretty sick. So I will admit some of these do look a little bit wacky, but right here, right off the bat, we've got the brand new Nero and what it would look like as one of the rocket cars. And I will admit that this is actually pretty cool. I would like to see the Nero be one of the cars. It kind of is fitting considering in real life only like a couple handful of these cars were actually made based off of this Bugatti here. So this one is actually pretty cool again, and it would have made sense since it was added within the same update as import and export. But this is the Nero right here. Luckily, it actually kind of fits the rocket on the back really well, and the fact that it's kind of this like menacing looking car, it also works with it super good. So this is the Nero. That's what it would look like with the giant rocket engine on the back. That is looking pretty epic right there. Up next, we've got the X80 Proto, and I will say that out of all the vehicles, I think this one is my favorite to have this rocket feature because the X80 Proto, number one, is a prototype car, but number two, it's also one of the most futuristic looking vehicles we have in the game. And I think it would be perfect to have a giant rocket propulsion engine placed on the back. I mean, the X80 Proto, like I said, already super futuristic. You can see right here, just with some of the mods and the customization, it fits almost seamlessly on this car, and it's a mod, which is pretty crazy. And that's also another thing. I'll leave a link to this in the description if you want to check this out for yourself, and if you want to try sort of these new supercars and vehicles with the rocket. It is actually a whole lot of fun, so definitely try this out for yourself. I'll leave a link to that in the description. But the X80 Proto is near perfect for this. Oh man, I think we just ran over something. It's near perfect for this, and it looks so great with this new rocket engine. Speaking of futuristic cars that would work really well, we've got the Zentorno. That's right, the Zentorno, again, another one of those futuristic looking vehicles, and I think this would be perfect for that rocket engine to be on the back. As you guys can see here, it really does fit perfectly. It's got the stock spoiler on there right now. It really does kind of fit perfectly in between those like two wings. So that is actually super cool, and I really do love the way this car looks with that engine on the back. Like I said, the more it can fit on there without being like an interruption, the better it looks, which is surprisingly why I think it looks so good on the Rocket Voltic, is because it seems like it was almost made for that car. Again, a kind of futuristic Elon Musk style vehicle, but still very cool stuff right here. And obviously, you gotta love the effects that it does, where you can just fly over things and jump over other parking lots. Again, one of the coolest features that Rockstar has ever added onto a car, and the Zentorno would certainly get my vote if it were to be one of the vehicles that it could receive this rocket thruster engine to. Again, let me know in the comment section down below if you know any other vehicles that we're not going to go over today that would be perfect for this rocket thruster. I think we've got a couple other like maybe sports cars or supercars that would be good fits, but I'd love to hear from you guys down there and let me know what you think. Up next, we've got the Tempesta, one of the brand new supercars added into Grand Theft Auto Online, and obviously this would be a really good fit for this Rocket Voltic. The Tempesta, again, is another one of those kind of futuristic styled looking supercars, and this one is no exception in the way how good it looks with the rocket on the back. So that would be pretty awesome, and given the fact that this is already one of like the best vehicles in the game, this one might be a little bit overpowered. Some of the other vehicles might not have been all that overpowered, but this one, especially given the fact that it's not all that expensive, but it is super good performance wise. Again, might make it a little bit overpowered, but as you guys can see here, it is still absolutely loads of fun, and this is one of the best new vehicles added into the game. And if Rockstar added a rocket thruster engine on the back, it would make it an even better one. So I told you guys we were going to feature some of the brand new cars today, which is pretty awesome, but we still got a lot more to check out, so let's move on to those right now. All right, so this one does look a little bit wacky with the 2 license plates and the fluorescent blue wheels, but this is the new Spectre, which is awesome. So this is going to be a vehicle that's going to be coming out hopefully sometime soon. You know, we've got 3 unreleased vehicles left in the game. We've got the Spectre, the FCR, and we've got the new Progen vehicle. So I don't know which one's going to be coming up next, but I know a lot of people are looking forward to the Spectre, and this one would be pretty awesome. Unfortunately, the one we're going to be getting is not going to have a rocket thruster like this, but it would give you a pretty good idea of how it might look if it did receive something like this. So like I said, it looks a little bit wacky with those 2 license plates and double sets of wheels, but that's the Spectre. You can see it all of its glory. Are we even landing right now? Man, we got some serious air here. But either way, I think that looks awesome, and it's kind of like a James Bond car too. Whenever I think of like Aston Martin, I think of James Bond. This needs to be a feature that he has equipped to his car for like quick escapes or like, you know, getaways. Have that rocket on the back. That would be super awesome. Staying in the supercar category, we've got the Sultan RS here, and it actually does look pretty good. I will say that it kind of does fit this car actually pretty nicely. I didn't expect that because it is a smaller car, and I think the rocket on the back might overwhelm it a little bit, but it actually does turn out quite nice. And since this is a Benny's vehicle right here, how much would you guys pay if this could have been a Benny's customization option? Let's just, you know, pose a hypothetical question. What if this rocket feature was available on a bunch of cars? How much do you think Rockstar would charge for this in Benny's shop? $1 million, $2 million, maybe even $3 million? That would be very interesting to see if, number one, that would even be a thing, but then number two, how much they would ultimately charge people to put a rocket on the back of their car. All right, and I've saved these 2 for last because I think they definitely look the wackiest, kind of the most unrealistic, and this is the new Elegy Retro. And as you guys can see here, it just looks kind of weird, like the bumper has been removed, and it just doesn't look like it fits this car all that well with the giant spoiler that's on there. But still, this would be pretty cool. Obviously, I know a lot of people are in love with the new skyline that was added into the game, all the Fast and Furious references, etc. But this one still would be pretty cool if it did have that rocket thruster added on the back. I just don't think this one looks as realistic as the others, which is why I'm doing it at this point in the video. But also, kind of on the note of Fast and Furious, 2 things I want to talk about. Number one, we're going to be doing another Fast and Furious live stream later today here on my channel. You guys absolutely loved the one we did yesterday, which covered the brand new one that's actually coming out in 2017, The Fate of the Furious. So we're kind of going to be doing a part 2 of that, which should be a ton of fun, doing lots of challenges, going over the vehicles. We'll be using this one right here, not the rocket version, but the Elegy Retro Custom will certainly be a part of that live stream, I can almost guarantee you. And also, this is kind of on a separate topic, but because the Elegy Retro is like a vehicle that was made into a retro one, I wonder if Rockstar will ever do that with other cars. Like, for example, would they ever allow you to take the Jester into Benny's and turn that into the Supra or something like that, which is obviously a very famous car from the Fast and Furious franchise and just a pretty popular car in general. So I wonder if within future DLCs, we are going to see the creation of more retro vehicles. I mean, in this one, we saw 2 alone with the Elegy and the Comet. So again, it'll be very, very interesting to see what Rockstar does here. And that's why I don't think this one makes all that much sense, especially the retro ones, just because when I think of the rocket, I think of like super futuristic style stuff, not a car that's had the clock turned back a few years. So that's why I'm doing these 2 last. And as you'll see in the next one, that's why I've chosen to do these 2 last, because out of all of them, I think these make the least amount of sense, but I guess the mod creator just put them on there because they were brand new vehicles. Regardless, they're still pretty cool and obviously a ton of fun to drive. And finally, last but not least, we've got the Comet Retro Custom, and this was actually just added into the game with the festive surprise, and I like it on this car, but I still don't think it's a perfect fit just because it's a retro car and it's a little bit smaller, so it wouldn't necessarily go with the technology, number one, but number two, it is kind of overwhelmed by that big rocket on the back. But anyways, hopefully that gave gave you a pretty good idea of what the rocket Voltic feature would look like on some of the new super and sports cars in the game, and how what other rocket car style vehicles could look like in Grand Theft Auto Online. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not sure if Rockstar is ever going to explore this thing again. In fact, it might have only been specific for that one vehicle, but if they ever do, hopefully they consider these handful of cars that we looked at today, because there's a lot of great candidates here that would make for some awesome looking vehicles. But as always, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of these cars. Which one would you like to have turned into a rocket style vehicle? I'd love to hear from you guys there. If you did go on to enjoy the video though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.